This is Beat Motel, and we've got a guest, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. No. Nope. You're listening to the Beat Motel podcast, and we need to warn you that we like to use words like fuck, shit, and syndicalus, bunty scrotix, angry flap, and film biscuits. And we don't often bleep those words out, apart from because we're not complete animals. But if you understand that and you like music, then listen on.
Listen, the first question I have down is who are you?
That's a good question. Who am I? I'm Drew Ailes, aka David Lunch, aka what was the other one? Egg Norton. I don't know. There's a different pseudonym every record. But yeah, Drew Ailes. That's my real given name. Andrew Ailes is actually my real given name.
Hey, one up for the Andrews.
Really trying to steal my identity in some way. Didn't even know that information. And I play in a band called Citric Dummies. I play in a band called Psychic Vampire. Played in another band called Brain Tumors, which was like a fast hardcore band. And I've had a lot of random projects nobody's heard of that I like to say the name of, like Naked Dad and the Energy Boys. That's a fun one. That was kind of a Dick's Worship band that never made it out of the practice space a couple times, but. And I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a city nobody knew about until 5 years ago when the police killed George Floyd. And now we're still having insane government bullshit go on. And we don't have to get into all of that. But, I think it's important to know that I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the United States. If you couldn't tell by my accent.
Sam, dude, sorry, man. Sorry to jump in. You've gone real quiet. If you
yeah.
check your mic, please.
There you go.
Is that
better?
Sorry about that. Rookie mistake. Sorry, now I lost my train of thought.
Minneapolis.
Two questions. First, stupid question. Do you have a policy to the way that you name things? Is there a method? Or is it just like whatever?
Like songs, or just name like cats?
Both.
Like what do you mean? All things?
Well, yourself, it would seem, but also like the last two album names.
The songs are called.
Been a piss take of they've been the Zen Arcade and also piss take of Turnstile.
Oh, that? Well, so yeah, that was like originally. I think all the records were called just like whatever song that we liked the best, and then. And those songs are just the song title is always just whatever's just yelled the most over and over again. That's how a lot of the songs are written. They're just I'm driving or I'm doing dishes or something like that, and I'll just get like a melody and some stupid thing like shoot myself in the fucking face walking down the street, something like that, and then that ends up being the refrain, and then that becomes a song. But so the title is Zen in the Arcade. That was supposed to originally be called Altars of Sadness, which is a play on a Morbid Angel record. Altars of Madness. Yeah, of course. You wrote for Terrorizer. You know that. Okay. We had like some art. The artwork was going to be like Love Gun, Kiss on that altar with like the women looking like Kiss, like worshiping at them. And we were going to have it just be us, like looking like normal dipshits. And then the altar was going to be all famous rock stars, and so I was going to pay this guy $2,000 to do a big like oil, because he said he had to do like a big oil painting of it. And then he got into it and he drew us, and we looked really stupid and gray. And then he was like, "All right, so on this gal's body, I'm going to put Rob Halford's head, and on her I'll put Lemmy's head." And I was like, "Well, I don't want like women's bodies with like dudes' heads. That feels like some sort of commentary or something. Like, and we're not." We're not capable and we're not qualified for that conversation. That's a conversation for other people to have. And I ran it by some friends of mine who are a little less straight white male than I am, and they were all like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I agree. It's not even as funny." And so the dude got mad and pretty much bailed. And so then we had a week or so to come up with a title, and that had been floating around in my head since I was at the Brain Tumors days, that band was like 2011, 2015. So it's a play, of course, on Zen Arcade, and then Nine Shocks Terror, which is a Cleveland hardcore band that's rather infamous. And then there was another title that I think we threw around that was like, instead of Land Speed Record, it was Land I'm on Speed Record. So, I mean, we're from Minneapolis. Husker Du's from here. Yeah, that's where that title came from. And then Split with Turnstile, it's just, my job, which I'm really ashamed to admit, is I work in marketing and I work in search engine optimization, which is
so do I, Drew. I mean,
Is this like
it's the but
you're in a
how
safe
it is.
space. You're in a safe space.
All
here,
right,
man.
cool. You get it.
this is where punks come to tell the really embarrassing ways
Sort
of
of
making
tales.
a living.
I mean, my view is like the only I feel like punk isn't the kind of thing you can't live in like a $100 room and wash dishes like one night a week at a restaurant and just do drugs and get fucked up and make records anymore. You can't do that. So as I look around and I there's either people who are incredibly fortunate, just that their band can pay for things, or somebody in the band has a good job, or they have rich parents or something. In my case, I have a good job.
Yeah, the rich parents thing really changed British music, more so like the chart music, the pop music, because I've got a couple of bandmates and they're in a band called Auckland Wound Profile, and they were signed to Roadrunner in like the early 90s.
Okay.
And Roadrunner were like, okay, there you go, this is your job now, and go off and support all these amazing bands. And they said they just had a wonderful time, but they still had no money, to the extent they'd go to like big parties at the recording studio that Roadrunner would send them to, and they'd said these journalists from like Kerrang and whatever going, oh, we love the album. They were like, oh, that's great, can you lend us a couple of quid so I can buy a pint, please? So the reality of actually kind of making money from music it's just got worse and worse. Just out of interest,
it has.
So I'm supposed to be keeping a back seat in this one.
No.
So did you start doing SEO
you're fine. We touched on
to fund
marketing.
the music stuff? Did you
No,
start?
That would be cool. That'd be a really good story if I was like, I got to figure out how to rock and how to keep rocking. Let me go legit. And
that's like the anarchist thing of like, take them down from the inside.
I mean, yeah, there's something to be said for that. No, I grew up like fucking around on computers and stealing credit cards and people's shit. Like that's what I did as a teenager. I did drugs and I stole credit cards and I fucked with people on the internet. And sooner or later, you just learn how like URLs work and how web pages work. And if you change this, it does that. And if you do this, it does that. And you can exploit this and that. And that's what like search engine optimization started as. So I already kind of had like a footing in like, here's how you fuck with an existing system to make it work in your favor. I jumped around a lot for jobs. Like I sold life insurance door to door. I sold merch for band for a little bit. I shouldn't even count that as a job. I worked for a haunted house prop making company. And I worked in their warehouse. Yeah, who hasn't? And so I worked in their warehouse and I was like one of 3 employees. And eventually as they grew, they were like, man, you're bad at counting and you talk too much. So you should do marketing. And so I already had somewhat of a foundation of like how to do some of that shit because I used to be like an email spammer as a kid too. And I had always been interested in marketing, as terrible as that sounds. But I thought it was something I'd be good at. So I helped this company a lot. And eventually the owner almost punched me in the face over some bullshit. He fucked up the website and I called him on it and he almost punched me in the face. Guy I've known for a long time. We don't talk anymore. But then I managed to, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had a friend of mine that was like a recruiter for this big corporate downtown tall building consulting agency. And I didn't go in for an interview. I went in just to talk to like the guy who leads that program. And he was this really nice, dorky dude with like big graying hair, like pompadour thing. And I was like, I saw a picture of him and I looked up his name and I saw he had a Discogs profile. And then he had like a want list and he had like some Oblivions and like a bunch of like a lot of good music. And I could tell this guy was probably like a goth rocker or something a while back. So I went in, talked a little bit about the SEO stuff, but mostly just talked to the guy about music. And then as a way, because he was just vetting me to see if I knew what I was talking about, just kind of reassuring me that I could try and find a job here. Somebody left, I got in there. And so that's all it takes is you get like a big name on your resume. And this company is like one of the big consulting companies here. I got fired from there. I quit. I got fired for quitting. Yeah, I got fired for quitting because they were pieces of shit as well. That's not going to be a theme, I promise. I'm not one of those guys that just says they're pieces of shit. This just like, work-wise, that comes up a lot. And yeah, and then I now work for like a giant company that's a not-for-profit. It's like the least evil financial services company here, which isn't saying much probably, but they seem like a good company. Otherwise, no company's a good company. We all know this capitalist shit.
Yeah, there's always the try and use your skills for good. So do a lot of charity work, but I'm not like virtue signaling, but I just see
no, that's what you
see people that like. There's a homelessness charity here in the UK and in Cornwall, and they were desperately needed some help. So I was like, look, just hit me up. Let's talk. And afterwards, it turned out the guy I was speaking to he'd started the sustainability department at Coca-Cola, and I was like,
oh wow,
that's weird because that's like they're the evil, but then he was doing a good thing, but they're the evil. But then he's doing. I was really conflicted about it.
They've gone back on that sustainability pledge several times.
Because
I learned. I went to college for some sustainability stuff, and Coca-Cola was like a shining example of. They said by this year, keep pushing it. But yeah, I do the same thing. In terms of like, I tell other people.
Do Coca-Cola still employ the death squads? Are they still into that?
I assume, yeah, that they did in South America.
Like all my knowledge of like the companies that you should boycott is from the early 2000s. Like, don't eat Nestle because they want to force all the mothers in Africa to go onto their powders and shit like that,
and privatize the water as well.
Yeah, exactly. And Coca-Cola built. I read a book about Coca-Cola. They built in India. They built onto land with because cheap land because they're not much water, and then used all the water from and basically drove out all the farmers. This is good, but Andrew's pushing me, going, "Let's listen to some music." So let's listen to 30 seconds of music and then ignore the music.
Talk about marketing and the horrors of capitalism.
Okay, here it comes. Track number 1. Anyone who's not listened to Beat Motel before, it's normally just me and Dr. Sam, and we get 4 or 5 choices each around a rough theme. For this episode, because we don't really do interviews as such, so we've given Drew 5 choices. So we're going to play the first one of your choices now, and then you can tell us a little bit about it. We can only play 30 seconds, otherwise we get whipped for copyright.
Okay.
Who is that, and what was it?
The Red Dawns. Red Dawns from Portland, but I think they have ties in Chicago as well. And the main guy in that band is a guy named Doug Burns, who was in The Observers and a few other bands too. But that song was written by my friend Devin from the band Color TV, who just passed away recently. So I had to kind of I had to put that there. We still don't really know, circumstances and stuff, but it was like right around Christmas time this year. So Devin wrote that song. He's actually singing it. And my friend Phil, who I used to be in a band called IV, Phil wrote part of that too. I don't know like who wrote what, but I don't know how it happened, but like Red Dawns have always been one of my favorite bands. I love The Observers, and I just saw like a clip on maybe Instagram of like Devin recording with them, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, are you in this band now?" He's like, "No, they're just like recording one of my songs, playing an IP, and I'm singing it." And I'm like, "That's a very unorthodox thing for you're not in the band." They must have just really liked the song, and he's known those guys I think for quite some time too. So yeah, that's a little personal one that I had to put out there. But yeah, Color TV was a Minneapolis band. That was really good. They had a couple records on Deranged, I think, and Devin played bass and sang for that.
Well,
he was in other bands too, but it's always interesting because obviously, like, we actually don't get exposed to that much of the stuff that you're talking about, frankly. And it's always sort of that thing of like punk rock is both at the same time. It's sort of
international at the same time it's always local, because it's just and it's almost always a bit more local than I feel like a lot of metal is.
Oh yeah.
And so like, looking at the list of the stuff that you've chose is like, yeah, they could all be great. And then I think that you go to the UK and like there's a whole host of stuff that, I mean, Andrew's really into his local scene. I'm in Helsinki. I'm not that crazy into it, partly because I don't know what the fuck's going on when I go to a gig.
Yeah. I know. My knowledge of anything in Finland is like Finnish death metal for the most part, and like
yeah,
that's probably it.
There was,
but yeah, you're right.
There was a local band here called they're called. My mind's not fucking working today. It's Monday. That's the reason why.
It's all right. It's a lot of reasons.
Probably shouldn't have had a drink last night.
That was a long time ago. We are seriously ahead of Drew here. Like, you must be just about 6-7 hours behind us. Like, yeah, you're still recovering. You must have really tired.
That's all right. At my age, if I have one or two, I end up it screws up my sleep, and I'm like worthless the next day usually. So
Thank you. Yeah,
it's very relatable.
The band's called Hero Dishonest, and they're really cool. They sort of they got reviewed. I think their second last album they put out got reviewed in Maximum Rock and Roll. Just like I saw their Instagram post, just like, we got fucking reviewed outside the country. Oh my god!
It's so exciting. I always tell people somebody I know went to Greece like 5 or 6 years ago. It was in Athens, and he came back and was like, "Hey, they were asking me about Citric Dummies, and they were like shocked that I knew you, and I was shocked that they knew me in Athens." Like, I have a friend who gets bummed out all the time that he's not more like acclaimed, and like a lot of people know who he is and his stuff, but he's just not like famous or something. I don't know if he's trying to be famous, but he gets bummed out about that kind of stuff. And to me, it's like if one person outside of my city like knows anything I've done artistically, that's really cool. Like, because they, living here, what choice do you have? You're gonna run into me sooner or later, probably see one of my bands. But if you're in Chicago, you must have dug around for it or something.
Well, I mean, that's how we came across you. It's like, I don't know. I sometimes just go on these sort of Bandcamp binges, and I just sort of find something.
Oh yeah,
and
it's fun.
And I was wondering, like, I was looking at you guys are coming over in March and April, isn't it? Coming over to Europe.
Correct, with the Gobs.
Yeah, I was wondering how, like, because I literally have no idea how the logistics of those tours come together. Like, because there was an Australian band like 2 years ago. There's an Australian band that were coming all the way over to Europe, and they're playing this sort of all over the shop. And then they played one gig in Finland, in a town on an island, in the middle of the sort of the sea between Sweden and Finland. And they weren't. It was like, so where
it's
are you
out of
going
the
afterwards? Way. Yeah, and it's out of the way. There's the only way to get there is a ferry. You can't fly there, and then you have to get a ferry back to either Sweden or go to Finland. But
yes,
like, so how do you? Because also
I can speculate on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know for sure, but sorry, go ahead.
No.
I'm a chronic interrupter, and you're very polite, so I'm going to stop and let you continue.
No, so like, how are the logistics? How are the logistics of those? How those tours come about? Because also, I bought your record from a German record shop called HAV. Your new one.
I've heard of them.
And
thank you, by the way.
Oh no, it was the only way I could get the record without paying the fucking fees from America, basically. Which your current Cheeto and Cheat.
Yeah, they love to talk about.
Yeah, he's having fun at the moment.
He's going to make tons of money off that.
Oh yeah, but so it was the only way of getting it. But I still haven't got the physical version of it because because of the vinyl pressing issue, one of the other bands I bought at the same time, apparently they're having a massive issue. But
they're shipping it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm digressing.
That's all right.
Let's play a Citric Dummy song, and then we'll come back and
then I can tell you about the tour thing, how that works.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You can play a Citric Dummy song. That's fine.
Man, your drummer's fucking amazing.
I know. Yeah, it's disgusting. That's the other thing people talk to us about on tour. They talk to us about Uranium Club. Again, band you should hear. And they talk to us about the drummer. Sometimes they even could tell the drummer. But yeah, he's phenomenal.
No one's ever sure how to deal with drummers. They're like either super chatty and really kind of slightly wild, or they just like their own company. I've been playing with the same drummer for about 25 years now. I know fuck all about him. I've sat in vans with that man for hours and hours. I know nothing. Situation with nothing.
Yeah, Travis is a really nice, friendly. He's, I mean, I would say, if he's at the perfect crossroads of like intelligent, sane, fun, and talent. But honestly, like, even if he was like a massive piece of shit, unless he was like a really bad guy, but if he was a really difficult person to work with, we'd still probably have him because he's so good. Like, so if he was way down here, if he was like a annoying, weird dork that we hated talking to, but he was as good as he is, we probably still could figure something out. But yeah, really good drummer. Yeah, and his name is Travis Minnick, and he's drummed. I mean, he's just like he's just a dude in Minneapolis that everybody's like when they see him. And he also plays guitar too. Him and Sean is a guitarist on the new record. They have a band called Hot Pursuit, where Travis is just like shredding and whammy bar and. So he's one of those guys who just like is talented. I don't think he can sing though. Although he's in a black metal band too, where he sings. So I don't know if he can carry a tune though. Anyway, Travis is great.
I'm going to digress from the question I had last time because it reminded me of the speed that you guys were playing at. Because I was wondering about like how like your musical sort of knowledge. Generally, like, do you know like theory and shit? Because
no,
I had a thing in my old band that before we got a song to the drummer, me and the guitarist would write this song and it would have a lot of like intricacy, and then we gave it to the drummer and he would just speed it up and we have to get rid of everything and just play the fucking most basic version of it.
Yeah. Travis is an accenter of stuff. Like, very rarely do I have to look over and be like, actually do toms here or something like that. Like, he just gets it. And I think we all have, like, similar musical interests as well and backgrounds. But, no, I don't know anything. Pat, our old guitar player, he used to teach guitar. And, like, pretty much the way that Citric Dummy stuff would work is I'd be like, here's the riff. And they'd be like, oh, do you mean like this? And I go, no, it's like this. And they go, and then they look at each other, and then they'd have a dialogue for like a few minutes, being like, "Oh, he's coming out on the end, and he's doing this, he's doing that. I think he wants to do this. Do you want to do this, Drew?" And I'd go, like 50% of the time, I'd be like, "Yeah. Actually, that's probably what I want to do." And the other 50% of the time, I'd be like, "No, that's not it at all." And eventually, because they were, were and still are geniuses, would figure out a way to play it right. And usually it would be what I would want. There's some songs like that Drugs in the Snow song. That song is not at all how it was supposed to be, but I don't have the knowledge, vocabulary, training, whatever, to say what's going on. So I get better and less annoying to work with. But I have to have a translator.
Somebody once told me you should always be the least talented person in your band. And I was like, I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I've formed a band recently with some people. A usual thing, hey, I really like the band that you're in. You've split up. I really liked your band. Let's do a band. And the guitarist, friend Dr. Hannah, her name is, got really frustrated at one of the first rehearsals. She's like, Andrew, do you even know where the notes are? And I was like, no. Like, I'm the bassist. I learned by watching. I watched the guitarist's finger. Wherever his finger is, that's where I put my finger. And then one of my bands does stupid time signatures, and whenever they try and tell me, I'm like, la la la, I can't hear you, because my finger's doing that on the note the guitarist is doing, and each time the drummer hits his kick drum, I play a note. They're the two things. That's it.
Yeah,
so
and if you think too hard, the whole thing folds in on itself. Like that's like people ask, like I don't know, like I learned how to sing and play kind of out of necessity. Like Pat sang about half the songs on like our first record, and then it ends up being more and more me because I couldn't sing and play at the same time. Eventually I kind of figured it out, but I when people ask me about it, it's just a muscle that's activated, and it there will be times that I am singing and I am playing and I'm having another thought, like I'm looking at a guy. I always use this example, a guy in a Blind Melon t-shirt. It's a band not many people talk about. So I'll be thinking about all that. So those three things will be going on, and which is really fascinating. And then I'll be like, oh shit, this is really weird. And then all of a sudden it'll just fall apart. Like I won't remember where I am or something. And then because Travis is such a good drummer, he can cue me back in on whatever.
All you need is a good drummer. I was in a band once, and the guitarist, we used to put on a festival each year, and we'd put like 22 bands just in a pub. And the guitarist and the drummer were real heavy drinkers. And I mean, I drink, but there'd be 10 pints before we went on stage, most gigs. I was always the driver. I was the sucker with a car. And we played the last one of these, and the singer and guitarist, he'd had 23 pints before we went on, and we'd run the whole day. And he went on stage and he burst into tears and ran out of the room. And me and the drummer, same drummer I'm with now, were so locked into just each other. We didn't notice for about a minute. Literally, looked around, and was like, "Where's the fucking guitarist gone?" We found.
You can't hear the guitar player half the time anyway.
He's like curled up out the back, sobbing. Bless him. But yeah, good drums all you
23
need.
beers, that'll do that.
Oh,
I mean, but fucking hell, how are you not just pissing your all the time?
It must have been paced. Like it must have been from like the time you woke up, right?
Well, no, it's from like 2:00 in the afternoon till I guess 10 at night, and we'd successfully run 2 stages.
That's 2 beers an hour, right?
Yeah,
that doesn't sound so bad, does it?
No, that sounds bad. That's pints. That's
not sustainable.
That's a liter of beer an hour.
Yeah, that's not a can.
Oh man! Right, we're going to move on to your next choice, Drew, and it's this one. Sometimes when I see a band, I think there's one member who should get paid twice as much as everybody else, and that one is the bassist. Yeah. Who was that, Drew?
It's a band called The Pinchers. They're from Belgium. I can't find any information about them, and it's to the point where like one of the members has the same last name as a guy who was my boss's boss 10 years ago, and I've thought about reaching out to him because his last name is Vandervoort. And I'm like, oh, how many Vandervoorts can there be? And so I thought about reaching out to this guy and be like, hey, do you have any family in Belgium? Because I get down these like rabbit holes with Discogs. Like I find something that's really cool, and then I click every single thing about the label, every single person that's in the band, and I just start trying to weave through and trace back, like, what is this a part of? What scene or where did it come from? And this band, I don't really have anything about. I think they just have 2 songs, and that's my favorite out of the 2. The other one's really good on there too.
No, I did
find them then.
Yeah.
I'll spend a lot of time on YouTube. I used to go through like the Maximum Rock and Roll archives, like the radio show, and just listen to all that stuff. And then I got really hooked on Peel Sessions for a while, just like Peel Sessions, like the artists themselves. And so the next frontier for me will probably be just listening to a bunch of John Peel, like whole shows. Whenever
somebody mentions John Peel, I can't fucking shut up, because John Peel lived 5 miles from where I am in the UK. I live in a place called Ipswich.
Cool.
He lived just up the
Yeah.
road. And we used to send posts to him because he lived in a village called Finborough. God, I'm almost doxing him because his wife still lives there. But there's a real small town called Stowmarket near here, and they've got a place called the John Peel Centre, which is it's an arts and a music venue. And Sheila, his wife, is a big part of it. And it took me a little while of going in there and seeing Sheila not to just like turn into a 10-year-old going, oh my God, it's Sheila.
Dude. John Peel. Yeah, growing up, like I grew up as a metalhead, and which is why I'm very familiar with Terrorizer. I used to write for Pit Magazine. I don't know if that ever made it out there, but
I knew that.
It was interesting. But I didn't know what Peel sessions were, so I'd see like Napalm Death Peel sessions, and I had no idea what that meant. But eventually, I just started associating it as like something that I wanted. So if I was just flipping through CDs and I saw some band had a Peel session, I'd generally buy it, having no idea what a Peel session even meant.
So
as I got older.
So if you know Napalm Death, do you know Extreme Noise Terror?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like
so
Phonophobia. Phonophobia is pretty much the only record I've explored a lot.
Everyone thinks they're best, but so they're obviously from Ipswich. They're from Ipswich as well. They're from here.
Okay.
And I know the guys in the band. Well, sadly, one of them passed, but I know the rest of them. And there was a documentary made by the BBC because John Peel was also like a TV presenter guy. He had like a straight side, and he'd be on TV. And they made a documentary about him, and they showed him going to watch Extreme Noise Terror in like a small in the Caribbean Club, which is literally a club for people from Windrush people from Caribbean. And John Peel's there and his wife's there, and because it's Saturday night, it's the family outing. And his kids, one of his kids, got Tom Ravenscroft, who's a DJ now on BBC, is about 5 years old, tiny little kid being like nailed to the wall by Extreme Noise Terror because his dad took him.
That's life-changing.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, I was always really I mean, I don't just listen to like punk and metal and stuff like that. I like a lot of different music, and that's, to me, the thing that appealed to me the most about John Peel stuff is he's just all over the board. So if he has a Peel session with like I can't think of a good example. Like some techno bands in the 90s, like stuff that I would never be on my radar. I'd never care about. I'd never even think to listen to. Yeah, I'd find myself like, oh, I'll listen to 3 Atari Teenage Riot records. Sure, why not?
Smart.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
end up liking a lot of it.
I think he was famous, famous for in my mind. I never really listened to him because even though I'm British, I didn't grow up listening, and my parents never put on BBC Music Radio. And but he's famous for his eclecticism. That's sort of the thing about it. And it was also like the fact that he would play Napalm Death. He would play Extreme Noise Terror on the biggest radio station in the country. And it was sort of like, who the fuck gets to do that these days? And he like
knew about it all too. Like when you listen to the banter that he has, like before he's introducing like another part of the session, like he's saying, and this is connected to this, and this is connected to that, and they're alerted to my attention through this person. Like it's such a good education for a nerd like myself.
What a lovely way to.
Especially because I don't read any. I don't read any of the damn books that I should, like the crucial punk. I don't get around to it. So,
right, we're going to move on to the next. So, Dr. Sam chose. Oh, words fail me. I'm playing Dr. Sam's next choice.
You may hate me for saying this, but there's something of the guitar tone to that reminds me of the Misfits.
Why would I hate you for
stuff.
that?
The 90s stuff.
Okay, yeah, all right, piece of shit.
I love that stuff. I absolutely love that stuff.
I don't.
Like a neo-Nazi these days.
My old band, I don't think he'd admit to being a neo-Nazi, right? My old band opened up for Michael Graves. There's this guy around here in Minneapolis named Adam DeGrasse. He could run out of town, but he's not very well liked. He's now Post Malone's like official photographer. I haven't talked to him in a very long time, but he used to book shows around here, and sometimes my old hardcore band would play some of those. And he asked us if we would open for Michael Graves' acoustic set at a VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars bar here. So we said, yeah, of course we will. And then I think we were going to play a bunch of Weezer songs, and then end it with Pure Hate by Poison Idea. And that was going to be our whole set. And then our drummer, who's just notorious for just day up, being like, oh, I don't want to do this. But he'd just be like, I'm sick, or have some other weird excuse. Dan, if you're watching this, I doubt you are, but I'm on to you. I know you didn't want to play that show. So he backed out, and so we just got Travis, actually now from Citric Dummies. Travis would fill in for Dan when Dan would back out on things. And then this other guy named Brandon. So we had two drummers behind us, and we only just covered Pure Hate by Poison Idea like 8-9 times. And then we we closed with Buddy Holly by Weezer. And this is open for Michael Graves. Apparently Michael afterwards told Adam, the guy who booked the show, he was like, yeah, really good bands. Like that one band's really fast, really good. Like he did not process. It's one of the best Poison Idea songs we've played 8 times.
He was not present. We spoke to Mike Watt a few weeks ago, and from the Minutemen, and
Mike Watt.
Mike
okay.
Watt.
Yeah. I thought you were saying Michael Graves.
No, I was just saying Mike Watt in a very odd British accent.
And we went really into politics, and
we couldn't get a word in edgeways at first with Mike Watt, but he's so loved over here. And one of the reasons is he's the opposite of that like distant, just comes out of the dressing room.
He's super cool.
Sam saw him an all dayer. Does that have all dayers? I'm going to talk to you later.
See him at all day.
All day pub. The band, that's what we were putting on. I said my guitarist was drunk. The gig, it's in a pub, starts at lunchtime, finishes at midnight, so there's like a ton of bands. Mike Watt turned up for one that Sam was at. First band, grabs a chair from the corner, puts himself in front of the stage.
No.
Oh, come on.
He was playing... My brother keeps telling me, and it really pisses me off, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. But,
fair.
No, he was playing. Mike Watt was headlining the gig with his there's some sort of like Italian band he's got with 2 Italians, and it was upstairs in the Prince Albert in Brighton. But the coolest thing he did was that he grabbed a chair and he sat there on the side of by the side in front of the stage, and he watched every single fucking band.
I got the chair bit right then.
I don't know how many bands I've played, the same gigs, but even friends' bands just go, "Oh yeah, you're playing at 7:30. Yeah, we're gonna go and get a burger." It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, man.
I always try and watch the stuff. I don't blame anybody who doesn't, because especially if you're on tour, Well, yeah, I understand that. If you're on tour, you can just, sometimes too much is too much. But yeah, Mike Watt, also Patty Costello from Dillinger 4 is like one of those guys who is always like up front checking stuff out, still stoked on things. I think most of the guys in that band are. They're a Minneapolis band, just for note. But I know a guy, he was like drumming with Mike Watt for a tour, maybe a couple tours, and he's a kid from, what's that city that they're always talking about? San Pedro, yeah. And so he's a kid from San Pedro, and I don't know the exact story. He's now the drummer for Frankie and the Wishfingers. But I think like his dad knew Mike Watt, and it was just like this thing that's like, oh, your kid plays drums, why doesn't he go on tour with us? Like I think they got to know each other over time. And so this Nick was like, I don't know, it seemed like he was like 21 or 22 when he was backing him he's a great drummer. But it was so cool. And he also played at Neighborhood Rats, which is how I met him. Another cool band from the Bay. I think they're from the Bay. Anyway, moving on that.
We're going to move on to your third choice, and it's this one.
What is it?
was that?
Sado Nation, a song called Mom and Pop Democracy. There's a faster version of that too. Either that or somebody just uploaded it at the wrong speed. They're a Portland band, which is really cool because with that like guitar strumming, like it sounds like the tone and the style sounds like it reminds me of the Wipers, Greg Sagan playing. And it's weird from that time you can listen to stuff and say like, is this from Portland? And a lot of times it is. Like there's these weird commonalities between like Rats, Dead Moon, like all those bands, Poison Idea even. You can tell it's from Portland back then.
My research is legendarily shit, but my research says
use AI.
That track was such a big thing in our world. It was actually produced by Greg Sage from the Wipers.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I say take it with a pinch of salt because I've not gone deep with this.
Do your own research. Don't trust this planet-burning bullshit that Andrew spills.
Andrew, I would assume you wouldn't trust, because I've been burned by... I've had to argue with like a director of analytics about like petty shit, and it's taken me a half an hour before I've been like, did you just get that out of AI? And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, it's not right, man. But that being said, that would make sense, because I know Greg Sage produced a good amount of stuff.
Yeah, it was on... It was on Trap Records. I think you said that a minute ago, actually, didn't you? I'll shut up now, Sam. I'm going to play.
Yeah, it's on the Discogs. He's credited on the Discogs. So
cool.
I think we got to give that one to you.
Right, Sam's choice number 3, or third choice if you want to speak properly.
I mean, that you're definitely leaning into like Danzig and that, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of Misfits worship in this band.
But
I did not know you were going to just play Citric Dummies songs. I mean, I caught on after the second. But now I realize it's all Citric.
We don't know what we're doing. What the fuck's Arby's? I mean, it sounds.
Oh hell yeah! You don't know what Arby's is? That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. So Arby's is it's like a roast beef sandwich place. It's similar to Rack's Burger, which you don't know what that is either.
Well, we've only just got Taco Bell over here.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a restaurant that like shouldn't exist. I don't think there's a market for it, but it does. And they have curly fries, like you know what curly fries are.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right,
Pigtails.
Cool.
Pig's
yeah, exactly. So that's like I think why people still go there. I actually had a good burger from there. I ate it there once like every 2 years or so. But yeah, they have this stuff called horsey sauce, which is like a horseradish stuff.
Oh.
And they have like Bronco sauce. What's that other sauce called? I don't remember. But everybody in America knows what Arby's is, and it's potentially polarizing. And that's one of many songs where I didn't have any lyrics or ideas on what it's about. I'm just like drinking coffee in a cafe, upset, and they're playing like Ben Folds 5 on like the loudspeakers. So I'm just
Is that
like,
why you're upset?
Fuck Ben Folds 5. Yeah, I mean, there's one of the lyrics in there where it just trails off into me talking about Ben Folds 5. I think is what the lyric is.
See,
it's a song I think about a guy murdering people and eating Arby's to make it feel better.
That story makes me think of. I'm curious now. This is not for you to answer, but Max Calavera with his song "No" from the first Soulfly album, which contains my favorite lyric ever by him, which is "No motherfucking Hootie and the Blowfish."
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's just a list. It's a list of things, and it's somewhere down.
I like some.
The list.
I like some. I'm a big Sepultura guy. I try to get Max to do a write up. You know, like the little album blurbs that they have in distros and stuff like that. I try to get Max to do one because he's on Cameo. He just wrote.
Oh, right.
And just said. He said, "Sorry, I only do greetings and birthdays here." So he wouldn't.
I'm so disappointed by that. I always thought out of a lot of people from that scene at that time, I always thought he'd be the one who you might bump into at a squat gig or you know.
I've heard he's cool. Yeah, I've heard he's a cool guy, but I mean, I imagine he's probably sick of people being like, "Hey, listen to my band," and it's like horrible. You know,
Yeah.
that's like the most, especially when you meet somebody you like, and they're like, "Oh, I got a band," and you're like, "Oh God, I don't like to do it. That's bad."
So
I have to talk.
I wanted to go back to something I've actually made a note of. I'm trying to be vaguely like think my thoughts through, but tour logistics in Europe, because you guys aren't playing. You guys aren't playing the UK, which seems to be like a
deliberate choice.
Okay.
No, not really. Not really.
I don't live there. It's a deliberate choice.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay. We only have a certain amount of time. Our guitar player, well, he's getting fucked over by his job, so that might change at some point. But yeah, though. So we work through a company called, not a company. We work through some weird fucking guy named Jens, who's based out of Hamburg. Who adds an extra consonant, like 30 extra consonants to everything. So he's just like, "What's up, fucker?" Like that's what all his emails look like. He books a lot of bands from Australia, from America, and doesn't charge like a whole lot. And he just kind of has a network of people that I think he's worked with for a long time, and I think he's been doing it for decades. So he, in my opinion, is like your best choice for DIY touring. Flights and stuff, we have to figure that out. Last time we were over there, I had to figure out van rental and gear rental. This time Jens is figuring that stuff out. And I had to find us a driver. We have a driver this time, guy named Georg from a band called Egg Idiot, which is a really interesting band that you should check out.
Write that down.
It's good. Yeah, Egg Idiot is a cool band, and I think he's driving us. But I did tell him, like, we don't feel like going to Italy this time because our last tour in Europe, we had to cancel early and we didn't end up going to Scandinavia. So I said, we want to make Scandinavia focused because that's the best they all on the show. And, yeah, let's do that. So then, he's like, all right, well, no Italy then. And then we'll look on the itinerary and be like, oh, I guess we're playing Poland. I guess we're in 7 hours to play Poland. Oh, I guess we're going to have to figure out the van emissions in Paris.
We're hoping to come see you because, as you say, Dr. Sam lives in Finland. I live in Britain. Where did we decide? Was it Holland?
No, I wanted to go to Stockholm.
Stockholm.
Yeah, we're playing in Stockholm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post the dates or the dates and everything soon.
Cool.
Oh,
right.
They're already on your they're already on your Bandcamp thing. There's a messaging thing. There's a messaging thing on Bandcamp.
I must have sent them out there. All right, cool. I'm glad I try not to use that thing very often because there are bands that I like that are just like new shirts in stock, doing this, doing that, doing this. I'm like, I don't even know all that shit. But
Painful.
Good. I'm glad I sent that out. But yeah, we have a poster for it now.
Right, we're going to move on to your fourth choice, Drew, which is this one, best band name ever. I've just looked at my notes for this, and it is better than I possibly could have fucking thought.
Yeah.
What is that?
What the fuck's
That's
that?
I think it's actually called Chipmunks on 16 speed, but that could be something different. I know this is Chipmunks Sludgefest.
Yeah, that's why I found
it.
Yeah,
Chipmunks Sludgefest. So I was like kind of researching and trying to figure out if like it's the same thing as this like Chipmunks on 16 speed. I'm not sure, but the original song, like I grew up watching this Chipmunks movie thing called, I think it's called Chipmunks Adventure, and it sucks mostly. But as a kid, you don't know any better. So anybody who knows me well knows that I just have like constant songs running through my head, usually from my childhood. So commercials and just media that I consume between the age of like 3 and 11 is just like fossilized in here. It's constantly
it's just in there.
Yeah, so like a cereal commercial from 1988, like I can recite from memory, having not heard it in 30 years, and sing it and everything. So that song, Diamond Dolls, was one that was stuck in my head. And when I heard that, Pat, the old guitar player of Citric Dummies, brought it to my attention on how amazing it is. So then I again went on my deep dive and started researching other songs that the guy has written. They all suck. But the slowed down version of Diamond Dolls is really, really good. So there's some other good ones on there too.
It's Brian, I can't say his name. Brian Borchardt.
Borchardt? Yeah. I don't know if that's the same, because he has the Chipmunks on 16 speed, but I don't know if that's the same thing.
See the guy from Holy Fuck? Not a band I know, I've got to confess, but
I've heard of Holy Fuck.
Where's this from?
The idea of taking the Chipmunks and playing it at 16 so that it sounds like that is that really just tickles me. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and I always wonder if like that's how it was actually recorded, or how do they record that stuff back then?
So I was, yeah. I mean, so is this when is this from?
1987.
Like what era? 1987.
The movie.
So is this? No, the song.
Or the Sludgefest.
Sludgefest, yeah.
The Sludgefest, I think, is from 2015. So yeah, this is Chipmunks on 16 speed. I just found there's a Bandcamp for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because this, I mean, that I was looking up because my kid he discovered Alvin and the Chipmunks the other day, and I was sort of looking into like
trying
what
times for you, my friend.
Yeah, oh, fucking hell. Do you know what? It's interesting. Like the modern stuff, when they reboot this stuff, it's always so fucking bad. And
yeah, I know.
My 5-year-old really prefers the classics. He really doesn't give a shit about like the modern stuff.
I don't think kids want new Scooby-Doo. I think they watch the old shit and realize it's a lot funnier.
I had a court summons arrive at my house a couple of years ago. Demanding, well, not my attention in court, but demanding the attention of Alvin Theodule in court.
Oh,
So
cool.
somebody had skipped bail basically and given the name Alvin Theodule and my address, my house.
That's pretty cool. That's a good.
I think that's a great idea. That's a good stage name, Andrew. You should use that one.
Alvin Theodore.
Right, Sam's. Sorry, Sam, you got something to say? Go on, be quick.
So you were talking about like having songs running through your head, all the time. Have you ever written something and then sort of sat down and go, "Oh, fuck, no, that is the Chipmunks"?
I refuse to. I mean, I know I'm ripping off things all the time. Like I'll be like, "Wow, that's like Note for Note a Zero Boys song." Oh well, who cares? Like there's a song by Billy Childish called "Shirts Off," and it's just like this really rough sounding thing. And if you listen to it, it's Fast Cars by the Buzzcocks. And I love both songs, listened to both songs for like 10 years before I put it together. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You steal anything you want and just change some melody and it's a different song.
Right, we're going to play.
I'm never going to.
We're going to play Sam's last choice, which is this one. I'm going to share something with you, Drew, which I've during that 30 seconds, I was trying to decide whether I should share or not, because it's Gemini, using for some of the research on this, and for no reason, unasked for, it gives it an opinion of your vocals. Do you want to know how they're described?
Yeah, well, of course. I love that.
This is
It's like better than someone's like aunt telling me, what our performance.
You're being
was
judged by AI. It's starting to judge you back.
It says the singer sounds like he's being electrocuted whilst trying to order a sandwich.
Okay, that's cool. I like
It's
that.
like,
It's not right.
that's very AI, though, isn't it? It's very
it.
like.
It's like, oh well, we don't know what to say, so we'll say something whimsical, and you'll at least laugh and you'll have a good user experience with it. I'm glad you played that song. That was my favorite song on that record, and I don't know if the band cared so much. It also took me like 40 takes to do those vocals because Travis decided to change the drums at the beginning of it, and it was back really before I knew anything about how to do anything. And so because he changed the way that he brought the song in, like right as we recorded it, it threw me off. I didn't know how to start it. So you can actually hear him. He's singing underneath it, and I'm singing over him because I couldn't figure out how to do it otherwise. But I can't remember what I wrote. I wrote that song when I was working in a warehouse, I think. I'm pretty sure I yelled it at Travis. Like
I don't think we said what it's called, have we?
Down boxes. Life is so horrifying.
Yeah.
And that's our email address. Life is so horrifying email at gmail.com.
So, like, there's a theme that runs through your lyrics, and like you've got the album titles that I would call sort of postmodern in a way, like
sure.
They're taking their piss. They're knowingly self-referencing, taking their piss in a way that reminded me of Pears, who are a band that I miss quite a lot.
Yeah, I still never listened to them. I'm gonna pull up a tab now to remind myself.
Well, they do a lot of. They did it musically a lot. They would take from they would do a lot of references to like Rancid and NoFX and all these big bands musically, and then just go off and do their own thing.
So that's the equivalent of like jazz jokes, right?
Yeah. Essentially,
punk jokes.
It's a good point. But the titles of the albums aside, there's a very sardonic humor running through.
What does sardonic mean?
I looked this up the other day.
It's a great word that I've used a lot and couldn't tell you. It's like dark, sarcastic.
Yeah, a form of wit with a degree of cynicism or disdainfulness. It's more biting and negative than sarcasm, yet not entirely malicious.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and like I had to pick it because I love the song title so much. Being male is embarrassing.
Yes. I mean, a lot of the songs are kind of based around, my like general disdain for like maleness and I mean reality or culture, everything. But a lot of it, like I've never really felt. I've always fucking hated men. Essentially, I still do. And like even if I was a kid, like all my experiences of being like uncomfortable and being like, what the fuck? Or it's always men, always. And I never really, I never felt comfortable being one of those guys like, check out the fucking tits. Like, and I grew up, like my early music experiences were like in the like grindcore scene in Minneapolis with these like really misogynistic like pieces of shit. And I just never really connected with a lot of that stuff. So I think a lot of that comes out with lyrics. A lot of it is like, taking the piss out of men, I suppose, which isn't like a deliberate thing, but it's just, there's so many fucking jokes.
I spent 3 years at college training to be a nurse, and I was the only man on the course. In total, there was about 70, 80 people on the course, and probably the most comfortable I ever felt. just because. We talk about this quite often on this podcast. There's like the blokey bloke thing, which to my mind is like late 90s. It's Oasis, and that kind of like just seems so blokey alienating. Blokey bloke. He's a blokey bloke. Like
I don't know if that translates culturally.
Man. Pardon?
Oh, that's interesting that Oasis is wrapped up in that, because I think people would. Here, I'm sure people think there's plenty. Somebody would just be like, "Oh, you like Oasis? You're gay." Like, that's what you get in America. No one would think that was, like, a masculine bro trait.
Oh, God, no. It was like, it was a byword for just being a sniffed up twat. Yeah, just sort of like, just
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot I can take from this.
It became like real sort of chav culture thing, but we are running out of time.
Chav culture, I can...
We're running out of time, so I'm going to play your last choice, Drew, and it's this wonderful thing.
Wherever you may be, the bright good morning voice who's heard but never seen, feeling all of 45, going on 15.
Harry Chapin, WOLD. Seems to be a song about being a radio DJ or something. I don't listen. People talk about the Citric Dummies lyrics all the time, and I don't pay attention to lyrics at all. I listen to the refrain. I don't care about lyrics. So I don't actually know what that's about, but I pieced together it's probably about a radio station. Yeah, I like a lot of like really big 70s sound. Like I really love the song MacArthur Park. I don't know. Maybe it comes from like growing up in a household with my sister playing like Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals constantly.
Oh
or,
my
like,
god,
really
that's what I grew up with. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I know all of them. I can sing you all of Starlight Express if you want.
No, I do. I'll hear like just 2 or 3 words from Andrew Lloyd Webber lyric out of context, and that's it. The song's it's cool. Then playing. It's just off.
Yeah.
I have got some shoddy research on what the song's about, if you'd like to know.
Oh yeah, please.
So the accidental eavesdrop. The song was inspired by a real DJ called Jim Connors. Chapin was sitting in a Boston studio and he overheard Connors having a heartbreaking, messy phone call with his ex-wife. Instead of offering a tissue, Chapin grabbed a notepad and turned the man's midlife crisis into a top 40 single.
Cool. I would love to have that story across everything I've created.
So, I guess the last thing we should talk about is, the hot topic of all the shit that's going down where you live.
Yeah,
because
it's very real.
And we're not talking about Greenland, we're talking about the internal growing civil war.
Yeah, in this city.
Yeah.
But yes, in the country as well. But I mean, it's been going on across the country, but in Minneapolis, we're being made an example of because Walls ran as VP, and also we're a sanctuary city. We have a lot of immigrants. Like, also people are like pretty nice and welcoming. Like this city and state is still extremely racist, despite the way that people want to think about themselves and their relationship to people of other cultures here. And it's not intentional racism, I don't think. I don't think they want to be, but like people here, it's very real, as it is anywhere else where there's any sort of multiculturalism, probably. But yeah, so we're being targeted for this shit, and like I didn't go to a restaurant last night that I wanted to go to because somebody had posted that ICE was in the neighborhood, and I was feeling conflicted. Like, well, should I go and like support it, or is that just like keeping like someone who should be going home right now, like making me fucking French fries? Like, I don't really know. I've been fortunate enough to not see a lot of ICE agents around my neighborhood. But these guys, when they're done with work, they go sit at fucking Mexican restaurants and, eat and chum it up and drink margaritas. Like, they're dipshits. They're some of the dumbest people. They're people who failed to be cops. Like, they're bad people too. But I try not to really hold the view that there's like some bad people like the Ted Bundys and whatnot. These guys are just stupid, and I'm hoping that maybe being in our city and like, I don't know if you saw, there's some like right-wing asshole who was trying to stir some shit up, and he escaped. He only got kicked in the head once, and he was actually escorted out by like, I think like a black man and a trans woman escorted him to his hotel.
Is this the guy who was like to a council meeting or like a town meeting or something with a swastika?
No, he just went into the city to just like have a like white pride march or something, and only 5 people showed up, but like 300 of the community members showed up, and
so what's happening
here?
Here we go. That's what's happening here. The right wing have become obsessed with people coming over on small boats, and these people's situations is fucked. You don't cross the busiest shipping lane in the world in a inflatable craft,
in a raft
for a lark, But anytime there's protests, you'll get a small number of people, and then, as you say, the counter protest like 50 to 100 times more, and it's not the people you might consider activists or like our narco friends coming out of squats, and it's it's
average
kind of
people.
Going,
it's
no,
someone who's in the neighborhood that's like, what is this? Oh yeah, I'll go over there. But yeah, they escorted that guy back to his hotel, and then of course he made a whole bunch of posts being like, they tried to tear me apart limb from limb, and it's like there's literally videos of like you're getting hit with silly string and water balloons, which is dangerous here because it is extremely cold, but it's also like, I don't know, whatever, you can get a little frostbite, you're fine. We've all had a little bit, probably.
But let's have a cold. How cold is it with you?
Right now,
You
it's
can't
like
play
negative.
this with someone in Finland.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Helsinki was like plus today, so.
Oh, Drew, you've cut out, man. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh no, he's gone. Well, he's still here. We can still see him.
Let's just say.
Oh no. No, definitely
the sound's gone.
And we're out of time. It's the end of the show. I really want Drew to be able to say goodbye.
What's
Tell you
man?
what, Drew. No.
What about now?
Yay! There we
All
go.
right.
Gotcha.
It's like connecting through my phone for some reason.
Oh.
Anyway, I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, fuck all these guys.
There you go. Good summary of the episode. So, Drew, I really appreciate you coming along.
Thanks for asking me. I don't do a lot of stuff like this. There's not many people that are that interested enough in the band to talk to me, which is cool for me a lot. But also, sometimes I like to do it.
I'm gonna blow smoke up your ass.
You guys are exceedingly nice to us. Everybody in the band knows about you guys because they're like, oh yeah, there's two British guys that really love this band.
I don't listen to punk rock that much anymore. It's really nice to be excited about something.
Cool.
New still going on rather than find something from the 1950s. That sounds cool.
Yeah. I'm always digging back, and I listen to new stuff, but I'm not super up on it.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot to me. We got more coming.
That's the end of this episode. So thanks for listening, everybody. Please tell your mum. Just everyone else, they need to go check out Citric Dummies on Bandcamp now. And if you don't own 5 or 6 copies of each record, I think less of you.
Please do like a Freddie Mercury. Singing with yourself thing now.
What?
Andrew.
No, there's a really bad. I've got to press stop because I've got to go. Thank you. Bye.